to see others as God sees them. No matter what color you are, no matter what physique you are, fat, skinny, ugly like Steve, or pretty like Elizabeth, we're all the same. We're all the same. Just joking, Steve. I know you probably didn't. But we're all equal, we are all the same. I find that we as people judge with our eyes. So since I've been praying about this, I see people a lot different. A lot easier to show others God's love. It wasn't before. It was just something I asked God. Where can I? I was like, became a Christian. Where do I see? Then I became a prayer warrior. Then I became involved with Bible study. I wanted to know, where can I grow as a Christian? And he showed me this. To start looking at people in the way he would see them. Like homeless people, that's still a human being. Just anything. For example, I used to judge people because I didn't like this because people smoke. I didn't like the smell. That's still God's child. No, I'm probably using that. Sorry, but I used to, because I go to the gym a lot. If somebody wasn't going to the gym, I'd look at them different. But that's not right. That's not what a Christian would be. And that's what God showed me. And I see people way different. Just because they're short, tall, whatever, we're still created equal in God's eyes. And I got a couple things I did a couple websites I wanted to read to you. Is seeing with the eyes of God. It's what do you think God sees when he looks at us? And what to do, you suppose, is going through his mind as he watches us. When he sees our selfishness, our apathy, our bickering, our prejudice, or our pettiness. What is he feeling about us? Or when we have kindness, compassion, or faith? What must he be pondering? He created us. So he knows what goes on with us. But we aren't sure what he sees. When we do a selfish act or pass along a pain, is he angry or condemning? Or it's just disappointing because we should have known better, which we should. And if we rise above ourselves and do good to someone, is he applauding? I'm sure he is. Us in our little victory. Each person has a different interpretation of what they think God sees. This is because everyone projects unto God his or her own feelings of what he is thinking. Hey, Mike. Hey, brother. Welcome. This is a perception of how the creator of the universe views us, our world, and what we do within it. Many psychologists have suggested that a person will protect the personality of their own father unto God. If their father was kind and gentle, then they will assume that God is kind and gentle. But if their father is mean, distant, and disapproving, the person can view God in just the same way. Of course, we've all heard the same pulpits and TV evangelists who say that God's collecting all our mistakes and is ready to punish us with his wrath and judgment when the time is right. And then we have Jesus, the new covenant, the Lamb of God, the Redeemer. Jesus, who took the punishment for all of our sin unto himself to reconcile us back to God. And then the Gospels, we see how the personality of Jesus came out during his ministry. His words and actions tell us exactly how he sees and how he thinks. And how does he see? Jesus sees with eyes of compassion, with his eyes of forgiveness, with his eyes of love. This is what I would like to be more like. And yes, Jesus did get angry. But he got angry at the self-righteous who didn't have compassion for the ordinary man and the woman. He was angry with those religious leaders who didn't care for humanity, but cared only for their own club. Of course, it didn't help that they were arrogant, self-centered nitpickers who controlled everything. Their inability to see with the true eyes of God prevented them from from seeing the light of the world. As far as I know, on the page. This is from another one. Her name is Jill. I really found this. I ask God to help me see the person through his eyes. When we face a difficult situation or are dealing with difficult people in our lives, it becomes very easy to see them through our eyes. We see the hurt they cause us. We see the wrong they've done us. We see their actions through the lens of our own personal experience. When we face a difficult situation or are dealing with difficult people in our lives, and we see to them through God's eyes, we are able to see them as a hurting or lost person. We see their woundedness of their confusion. We can sometimes see when they are being deceived. If we wholeheartedly and we ask, even see their possibilities instead of their liabilities, seeing the world and the others through God's perspective takes the focus off of us. This keeps us from taking things personally. And when we don't take things personally, we can be more objective. We can better stand in the gap in prayer for the other person. And when we see things that are instead of seeing them as the way we are. Are you facing a difficult situation? Do you have a difficult person in your life? Ask God to help you see them through his eyes. Which I've done quite a bit myself. I've got a few difficult people. Ask him to help you see where their pain is coming from. Take yourself out of the picture and see the situation of the person as they are instead of how they are hurting you. And I have another one. I'm not done with readings. This is direction from another 2 little paragraphs here. This is still seeing with the eyes of God. God is continually teaching me to see with new eyes. The prophet Isaiah tells us that rebellious people have ears that can't hear, eyes that can't see, and hearts that can't understand. Being naturally rebellious, myself, I pray that the psalmist, that God would open my eyes to see the wonderful truths in your law. In Ephesians 1:18, we are encouraged to see with the eyes of our heart. Seeing is a big deal. Seeing with God's perspective is an ongoing challenge for each of us. Learning to see the things with God's eyes has become increasingly important in how I see being a Christian. And here's another one. It says, I finally realized God was calling me to be nothing more than who he had created me to be. I felt a deep peace once I was clear with that my past experiences, my my passions, my interests would shape the way I would live on the calling as a prayer warrior. This realization came as a wonderful relief. Okay, that's what I have as far as the reading goes. I will maybe say a couple things. Like I used to look at my, when I first started taking care of my uncle, you all may know he's quite, he's a messy, I call him a messy kid. He's a hoarder. But he's still, when I cry, he's still God's child. But he's a pig. He's hard to deal with. He calls me the F and A-hole sometimes. And I said, the last time I said this, this went on for a long time. I sat down on the edge of the bed. This is after I started praying to see this God sees it. I sat on the foot of the bed. I go, my grandma, your mom, or your sister, my mom, wouldn't like if you talked to me like that. And I guess that's the way God showed me to talk to him. I still see him as my uncle, and God's. I see him more as God's child now. He can't help how he acts towards me. He's done about the best as he can. Sometimes, well, he's done better. He can't help. He's not talking to me. He hasn't called me anything bad. Because I told him, when he use those profanity towards me. People that are those like a-hole, call me a-hole, don't take care of you. They would walk off and just let you die. Because I found him laying there, and I think in the hospital 3 times. He would be dead today. And I've looked at, we were going down the road the other day, and my uncle said something bad about a homeless person. And I go, knock it off. I don't like that. This is what's where God, when I started praying, where I be improved as a Christian. God opened my eyes and said, start looking at people. As I would see, a homeless person is just another person, just like me. I'm they say one paycheck away from being that homeless person. Why look at them any different than I look at Steve or look at my wife? I look at my wife, I see she's my wife. I look at her life, and I would Steve. Yeah, I know she's prettier than me. Anyway, I think that's a big improvement. I've always wanted to be prayer warriors since I seen Steve with his patch, Pablo and others. And I was just like getting kind of, where can I grow as a Christian? And I started praying about it. And it just came to me like, why are you looking at this poor person that's homeless? Why are you looking down on him? That's not a Christian way to be. And I don't know, I'm sure everybody does it. Look down at somebody in some way. You're fat, skinny, ugly like Steve, we're pretty like Elizabeth. We're all human beings. We're all created equal. And that's all I got right now. I hope I did okay.
Great.